What's up, guys? I'm Chris Eaton, and we are banging them out here. Welcome to episode 83, Snakes and a Fatman. That's right. People are passionate about reptiles all over the world, and whether you export animals or not, you should be excited about the growth of our hobby across the world. Morph Market is living the vida loca, and they're excited to announce the addition of Mexico, where the reptile industry is quickly growing. While Morph Market added additional support for Canada and the UK earlier this year, Mexico is the first entirely new region since 2007. Morph Market wants to thank Miguel Garcia, the fucking man, for making this shit happen. All right, that's not the only shit that they got going on over there at the old Double M. New updates include share listings, store pages, offspring groups, and expos to any platform using the share and copy link feature. Export any subset animals from the animal manager. I was talking to John the other day and I was like, listen, it's cool that we're doing this with regular sets, okay, of animals. But we need to include subsets of animals. John said, I know, I'm working on it. And lo and behold, a week later, it's done. Import photos from Google Drive. Import photos from Apple's HEIC format. Imported images also download faster. How does the regular person not know this already? Morph Market is always making small improvements like these, but are also working on big new projects at the same time. Listen, you already know. I don't have to fucking tell you. Get your asses over to morphmarket.com and become a fucking member. All right, everybody, let's check out what's going on with the Herps exotic reptile and pet shows. Let's see, what do we got coming up here? They're having a show currently in Corpus Christi, Texas. That's the 13th and 14th, but I'm recording this, and we won't release till the 15th, so that doesn't matter. But they will have a home show on August 20th and 21st in Bryan, College Station, Texas. They're going to be over in Austin, Texas on August 27th and the 28th. The big show down in Conroe, September 10th and 11th. Then they head out to New Orleans, Louisiana, September 17th and 18th. I know this fucking joke is old as shit, but Branch Davidian headquarters in Waco, Texas. Herps is going to be there, fucking killing it. Maybe that's not the metaphor I should have used. On October 15th and 16th, they're going to be back in Louisiana in Lafayette on November 5th and 6th. Then they got their show in Pearland, Texas. Pearl Land. That's the show where the Gumbo guys could actually sleep in their own bed on November 12th and 13th. Listen, well, why am I still telling you this? Herps is the best fucking show circuit in the fucking country. So go on over, herpshow.net. Ask them a question. That's right, I'm from the Bronx and I said ask. Anyway, go tell Lori and fucking Sean what a great job they're doing. herpshow.net, baby. All right, there's really something that's been bothering me for the last week, and I want to vent a little. I had a snake eye friend of mine call me up and was telling me how another snake eye friend of mine was ignoring him. And he was acting like a little bitch about it. I am absolutely fucking sick and tired of the notion that everybody in this hobby has to be friends with each other. Some people are just not gonna like you, whether it's because of past or current behavior, the shit you do, or the shit you promote. Deal with the fact that this is the fucking real world, man. You're not gonna be liked by everyone, period. Don't be a fucking cunt because somebody else left your messages on red on Facebook or Instagram and they didn't respond to you. Some people are gonna choose not to respond to you. Maybe they're fucking busy. Or maybe they actually just don't like you. Either way, put on your fucking big boy boxers and move the fuck on. It's like immediately if somebody doesn't respond to you, it becomes a feud. It's like there's only two choices and we have to be best friends or worst enemies. We can't just not talk to somebody. I mean, the reptile community is a microcosm of the general public, right? It's pretty much the same cross-section. If you took any random person off the street, what the fuck are the chances that you're gonna be friends with them? I mean, we literally only have like one fucking thing in common with each other. I mean, some of these fucking snake breeders think that you should just be their best friend based on some kind of respect or the amount of time that they've been fucking doing this. It's fucking bullshit, man. Some of you people have this crazy, over-exaggerated view of your own self-importance, and it shows. Not everybody has to like each other. Next time you're in a room with more than 3 people, look around for the asshole that nobody likes. And trust me, there will be one. And if you can't find him, it's you. Look at it. Look at it. That right there is the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet. Look at this right here. This is also the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet, but it's in a bag. Now this right here is the best coconut chip on the fucking planet. However, it's in a bigger bag. Brick, small bag, bigger bag, whatever. Rep.Tek is hands down the best substrate for your reptiles. It's the only substrate I actually use here at the Fat Cave. Why? Because it's the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet and I've been using it for years. And JT Tomlinson, one of my very best good friends, is the president of the company. Want to know something else that JT started? The Reptolution apparel company that gives 100% of the profits it receives back to the reptile community. There's always people and organizations in this hobby in need of some kind of help, and Reptolution is being proactive in giving to USARC, Herb's Family Fund, anybody in the community that experienced some kind of tragedy. JT, Rep.Tek, and Reptolution is there for them. You see anybody else being proactive like this? Let me answer that for you. No, you don't. Head on over to Rep.Tek.com and pick up a bag, a block, a brick, a box even. They're doing boxes. Boxes of Rep.Tek now. Pick up a Reptolution shirt if you're feeling sexy. A lot of fun stuff. They got it all there. Redline Science, tools, shit scrapers. They got everything. It's a one-stop shop, man. You can buy your reptile shit and clothes. Same place. Again, go buy a brick, a bag, box, a shirt, whatever. Just get on it. Rep.Tek.com. All right, so last episode I listed off my top 5 ball python genes that I hated, and like a dickhead, I promised that this episode I would list the top 5 genes that I like. So let's just get this shit over with so we can move on. All right, these are in no particular order, but I'm gonna list them out anyway. Number 1, acid/confusion. This has been one of my favorites since Josh Jensen put them out at Daytona in like 2016, 17? I don't remember. They just continue to fucking blow my mind, and they look incredible and they look awesome in combos. I love me some acid / confusion. Number 2, Stranger. Man, whenever I see a fucking Stranger clown, it actually makes me a little bit sad that I'm not in the hobby anymore and I can't produce these things anymore. So this was one of the rare jeans that actually made eyeballs a little bit of money back in the day, and their price point is still going strong. So number 2 is Stranger. Number 3, Puzzle. I really love this jean, but it seems like a dangerous precedent to set, admitting that Sean was right about something. Although a Puzzle clown looks like dog shit and didn't really look like we wanted it to, Puzzle still does amazing stuff with a lot of other jeans. Number 4, Red Stripe. Now, we had a super Red Stripe head clown at the shop maybe 5 years ago, and that thing fucking blew my goddamn mind. To this day, when I'm scrolling on Instagram, even though I hate this shit, I will definitely always stop to look at a Red Stripe combo. And number 5, I really can't think of a 5th one. I mean, really, what do I have in my notes here? Super OD, maybe? Danny's doing some cool shit with Rain, possibly Black Pastel. It doesn't matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
Hey guys, it's Justin at Canova. So in the past few years, Canova's become the top source for amazing ball pythons. Now Chris tells me, Justin, it's time to give back. So we're sponsoring the 15 Minutes of Lame to support the new and upcoming breeders. So jump in here. Let's hear your ideas. Let's hear your thoughts. Maybe you can turn your 15 minutes of lame into 20 years of lame, just like I did. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. So bring it.
15 Minutes of Lame!
Hello, folks. Look who I got here. Fucking Canadian. Don't be telling me that I'm fucking prejudiced on this show. I'm bringing Canadians in all the fucking time, okay? Fucking Foster Baillie from Genetic Intuition. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. I'm just chilling out. Excited to be here.
You got a very deep, like, fucking Barry White soothing voice. Like, fucking, the women must love you, man. So, all right, you know how this works. You got 15 minutes on the clock, and that's going to start right about now. And listen, okay, I'm going to change up the first question a little bit, kind of throw you for a loop here. You have 2 things against you right off the bat, 2 strikes. You're Canadian, and you're fucking a ball python breeder. So make me like you. Go ahead. You have two free minutes to make me like you.
All right. Well, I'm a pretty simple guy. I like to go to the gym, lift weights, listen to loud music. I don't drink anymore. I'm all about just growing and becoming a better person and motivating other people through what I do. Hopefully, they can take something from it. I'm always posting my gym stuff and just trying to get, more like the person that I visualize myself being. Always sharing that along the way. Yeah.
Well, you're a fucking maniac. I remember you sending pictures of you in the Snakes of Fatman shirt, lifting like 6 tons or whatever on the fucking. I'm like, what the fuck is this maniac? I'm glad he lives up there, man. Because this guy got mad at me, right? There would be a problem. What's with the name? Where'd you come up with the name?
Genetic Intuition. I was just kind of trying to think of that feeling you get when you see that animal that you can't stop thinking about, and you've got this like vision in your head, like what you want to create, what you want to do. And you're trying to create that path in your collection, and you just see that one animal come up. And I know like a lot of us have always had this circumstance where you just look at it every day, and then all of a sudden you're losing sleep over it, and you're like, I have to have that. And then you buy it.
Yeah, I've
That's
never
like
felt that way.
genetic
Yeah.
intuition. I don't know. I get that feeling sometimes when I look at an animal. I'm just like, that's the perfect piece. It's available right now. I have to make it happen. So I invest or I sacrifice something else to make sure I can afford it, and I get that animal.
Yeah, I've literally never felt that way. But okay, cool.
No,
No, not at all.
I get that feeling sometimes. Certain expressions of combos and stuff. I'm just like, I need that. That's going to be perfect. I have to get it.
But why do you need it? Well, like,
Um,
what inside you makes you think, like, I need to make that?
I don't know. I guess we're kind of all a little bit fucked up being so interested in fucking ball python morphs, man. I don't know. It's just the example of the genes, and I just have like a photographic memory, and I always picture stuff, and I'm always surfing pictures. So when I see something that's just like a really good quality example of what I'm looking for, I'm just like, okay, like I need that here so
A
I
little
can
bit
put it
of
with my
a,
other stuff.
it's a little bit of a god complex, huh? These fucking ball python people. That's what you guys have. Now, why would I be in Canada and buy from you when there's cool guys like fucking Billy and fucking Mark Mandic? Like, why should I buy from Foster Bailey instead of one of those guys?
I would say I'm taking a bit of a different approach in terms of genes. I have some unique stuff that not a lot of people have here in Canada. Bongo would be like my main thing, bongo clowns. There's a few people working on it, but honestly, I would buy snakes from all of the prominent names in Canada. So really, like, I'm a nobody in comparison to history and experience and whatnot, but I'm always learning. Um, I'm always trying to share my knowledge with people who do support me and try and better myself, and maybe I can help better them. But I'm always picking like the best quality examples of what I see in a gene or the traits that it's expressing. And I'm trying to be as unique as possible, not just, hopping along a trend, so to say. Not
How
that
many
there's anything wrong with
how
that.
many snakes do you have?
I keep it really small. I've actually had under 30 snakes for this pretty much the entire time I've been progressing my collection. So as of right now, like after I hold back hatchlings this year, I'll probably have under 40 animals still. And then next year, I plan to keep like maybe 15 to 20 animals, and just like every year, make sure I'm advancing the genetic potential of what I'm doing and thinking about keeping it super manageable, like low rodent costs, you know, high quality combinations and stuff. So
So you're
just
really
really
going
easy to keep
for
on it.
that boutique Aussie breeder thing, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of inspiration from the way he explains things. And yeah, I've always had that in the back of my head, the way Ozzy explains how he does things. And I try and save those little pieces of information. Every time somebody who's doing something awesome, drops a little information bomb on us, I just like screenshot that in my head and I think about it. Actually, Billy was one of the people that gave me a really good piece of advice before I started buying a bunch of snakes. And he said, a lot of people are scared to import and export. If you're going to get into this, don't limit yourself to only dealing with locals. Don't be afraid. We have networks in place to get animals in and out of Canada. People have been doing this for years. Like, if you see something that's outside of Canada and it's going to add something unique, jump on it. And I saved that in my head. And as soon as I saw Orange Dream Bongo Mojave Het Clown available in France, I was like, I got a few grand. I'm going to Western Union this money to France and hope a snake shows up. And that was like one of my first investments.
That's fucking crazy. That's
It
fucking
was
crazy.
a edgy feeling.
When you got the snake from France and you opened up the bag, did the snake just run away scared?
No, it was actually such a good snake. I fed it that day, like 5 hours after it settled in, and just smashed her at and never stopped since. And then it was one of those like rare females that breeds at like 20 months.
Ah,
I was like,
okay.
holy shit.
Well,
She
now
went through sheds, everything.
are the majority of your snakes from America?
I have a number of snakes from the States. I got like a Wilbanks animal at one point to get some of my banana into clown stuff. I've got a Ken Masick animal. I've got some Justin Kabilka animals. I've got animal from Germany from Ralph Sim, and then the original like bongo female that I got from Tony Canzoneri at Design Reptiles in France. So like I've tried to kind of like diversify sources, and a few of the people are just like really OG names, and I wanted to, you know, pay some respect to the people who created this thing for us, you know.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's cool. I mean, and really, like, really, the bottom line is fuck a lot of the Canadian breeders, right? Like there's some cool people up there. There's Billy, there's Mark, there's a couple other cool guys, but the majority of fucking these motherfuckers could go fuck themselves. Not you, of course. You're awesome. You're coming on the show. You buy shirts. You're fucking awesome. Fucking buy from buy from fucking Foster, man. Now let's talk a couple of sponsors, because I know in Canada it's a little bit different. So, number one, do you use Rep.Tek?
I have in the past. We had a distributor up here for a period of time. Recently, it hasn't been as available. We've had like an alternative product here, Go for Cocoa or whatever. I've been using that recently. But yeah, if Rep.Tek was like at my door, I'd continue to use it. It was a good product.
I'm just gonna say, go for gay, okay? Because you figure out a way to find that fucking Rep.Tek. JT gives you a small fuck you, but not a total fuck you. He gives you 90% of a fuck you, because you used to use the product. So that's better. That's a better start than most people have. You've obviously never been to a herp show.
No, man. I wish. I want to get down to the States so bad.
Well, Sean Gray, until you get there, gives you a big old fuck you. Sea serpents. Do you have a sea serpents rack or incubator in your house? Dude,
I want a sea serpents incubator so bad.
All right, fucking lie to me. Jesus Christ.
No, I
Chris
don't.
Nettles is giving fucking Foster Bailey a giant fuck you, man. Now, with your logo, you obviously didn't have Blake Stewart do it over at SD
No.
Design.
No.
Man, Blake Stewart's one of the nicest guys in the industry, and he's basically shitting on you right now, saying,
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
Foster Bailey. No fucking...
I've been
All
looking at his website. I've been thinking about actually doing a redesign. I just got my logo done by a local tattoo artist, so it's been really limited for doing banners and shirts and all that stuff.
Well,
so
it's still not bad that you actually supported local. So I would say that Blake Stewart gives also 90% of the fuck you, but 10% not fuck you. Obviously, you've bought from Morph Market, right?
yeah, I love Morph Market.
John Lehman does not give you a fuck you.
No, Morph Market's amazing.
I know for a fact you probably have not imported a snake from Kenny at Bow Affliction.
Nope.
Kenny's giving you a big
Fuck
old
yous all around.
fuck you. Yep. But we're gonna end this on a high note, because you've actually bought snakes from Justin, right?
Yeah, I've got a few.
All right, so fucking Justin does not give you a fuck you.
Yeah.
And, but I got to tell you, you did really bad there. I mean, that's probably one of the worst that we've ever had.
Just shit the bed on all the sponsors. Yeah, my bad, guys.
Yeah, you really did. You just basically telling me like, "Fuck you, Chris. You're a piece of shit. I'm not using any of your sponsors." But it's all right. It's all right. I get it. I give fucking shade on Canada. It's okay if Canada gives shade on me. All right.
It's all good.
Now you're in like Manitoba, right? Fucking
Yeah.
Manitoba. Like I think Barry Windham was from Manitoba, right? Like the wrestler. That sounds like the Bronx of Canada. Like it just sounds a lot tougher than like, hey, I'm from Canada, hey? You know, and you're just like, fuck you, you fucking Canadian douche. But if you're like, hey, I'm from fucking Manitoba, you automatically get a little bit of respect, right? Is that the way it works? or is Manitoba just a shithole? Like
I think it's just a shithole. It's like, it's affordable for good reason, I guess. It's cheap to live here. So,
right.
I mean, but I think it's out of fear. Most people are like, why the fuck did you move there? I identify as an Ontario Canadian. I grew up there most of my life, but
yeah,
a little half and half. Yeah.
you're one of those. All right, all right.
Yeah.
I identify as the most handsome man in the world. So now you have to call me that. That's what I want.
All right.
That's what I want my pronouns to be. When you refer to me, I want you to refer to me as the most handsome man in the world, Fatman. Okay.
All right.
So, holy fucking shit, man. Now, are you a show guy at all? Do you do that one dumb Canadian show? That's there?
I haven't hit the need to do shows yet. Like I said before, like all my project stuff is very targeted towards like specific things. So generally the stuff that sells at shows is like relatively pet market focused, except when like other breeders are scoping out what's available. But I think eventually I'd probably, participate at somebody else's table with them and grow into having my own table. Mostly what would be at the table would be stuff that I miss on. So, and then I'll have like a little flex display of not for sales or something like that. But that's
man,
a few years away.
You're so fucking millennial with that. I'll flex. I'll fucking flex. Right. Holy shit. How old are you, man? How long have you been doing this?
I just turned 32. I've been doing it for 5-ish years now. 3 to 4 more seriously and like really targeting what I want to do, having a focus. But yeah.
And at the end of the day, you sell your stuff on Morph Market currently, or do you?
Yeah, Morph Market and networking through Facebook, basically like Instagram and stuff. I've actually sold like the majority of my animals in Canada. I have gotten 5 or 6 animals down to the States in the past. Looking to get a couple animals down to the States this year, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how could people get in touch with you if they end up liking you and they're like, I want to buy from that badass guy from fucking Manitoba?
Foster Bailey on Facebook or at Genetic Intuition Canada on Instagram. Either platform's good. I prefer Instagram lately. Facebook likes to ban me because my sense of humor is a little too much for them, but whatever.
Well, yeah, and you're under 40, so of course you prefer Instagram, where you just slap a picture up with no fucking explanation, and you're just like, "Hey, buy from me." It's fucking weird, man. Okay, so Instagram. Do you have a YouTube channel?
No. Once I hatch more stuff that's my own productions, I'd probably be more willing to do YouTube and stuff. But I want to show off stuff that I made, not stuff that I bought more so.
Right. Okay.
Time will tell.
Well, that's actually that's admirable. Do you have a TikTok? You don't look like the kind of guy that would have a TikTok.
I have one, but it's a waste of time. It's just stupid.
You're so gay, right? No TikTok.
Don't dance on there.
And are you big on the reels on Instagram? Oh, it doesn't matter if you're big on the reels on Instagram because you are fucking out of time, my friend. Yeah. My Canadian buddy. All right, so tell everybody how they can get in touch with you again, man.
Instagram, Facebook, Foster Bailey on Facebook, at Genetic Intuition Canada on Instagram, Genetic Intuition on Morph Market.
Dude, you're a fucking rock star, and you're making me kind of change my opinion of Canadians. You're almost like a normal person. It's like you can't, like if I were to look at you, I wouldn't be able to tell that you're Canadian. You look like you would be from like Pacific Northwest. Like fucking somewhere where they actively hunt Sasquatch and Bigfoot and fucking shit like that. Like fucking like you look like the type of guy where that's your hobby. Like you go into the fucking woods on the weekend and just fucking look for Bigfoot and you're just convinced that he's alive. Dude, thank you so much for being here, man. I love you to fucking death.
Man, thank you for having me.
I will definitely, I know you were on MJ. And, he gave you 2 hours. And that could be pretty insulting when you have this fat bastard from New York offering you only 15 minutes. But,
good.
That's the way it works. Thank you again, brother. I appreciate you.
It's blessed, man. I'm here for it. Thank you very much.
Have a good one, brother.
All right. Peace, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Batman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 minutes of lame.
All right, I have a couple of questions for anyone trying to run a business in the reptile industry. Do you ever feel like you're held back by a dated or detailed image? Are you sick of competing on price or convincing people to buy your fucking animals? Are you ready for a change but not sure where to start? Stewart Design guides ambitious companies to discover and share their meaningful difference and empowers them to reach their greatest potential. If you've been listening to me for a while, you probably know my man Blake Stewart at Stewart Design. If not, I'm certain you've seen the waves they're making within the industry. They've worked with the biggest and baddest players in the game. Stewart Design rebranded ball python extraordinaire Justin Kabilka over at Canova. They also created the brands for Amos Reptiles, my boy Zach Nava, Garrett Hartle with Reach Out Reptiles, as well as many, many more. Not to mention the rebranding and all the work that Blake has donated to USARK just because of his love for the industry. Stewart Design helps take that dumpster fire shit of a logo you drew in Microsoft Word to a whole new level. Get your big boy pants on because this isn't a game. There are literally thousands of breeders and more coming out every day. So how the fuck will you stand out at Tinley or on Morph Market or at Daytona? Why should anyone buy anything from you when there are literally thousands of other dickheads out there selling the same stuff? If you want to run a real business and not some part-time fucking hobby, you have to stand out and look the goddamn part. If you give a shit about your business and want other people to give a shit about it, get a hold of Blake Stewart over at Stewart Design. Stewart Design is a professional branding agency. Just check out their website to see the list of major national and international awards that they've won. And besides creating kick-ass logos, Stewart Design also designs and prints everything you need to crush your next show, so you don't look like another fucking reject. Business cards, stickers, flyers, table covers, banners, you name it, they got it. Visit sdidentity.com or email info@sdidentity.com to learn more. That's info@sdidentity.com to get started.
All right, so this motherfucker that I have coming up is like 19 or something. A fact that I just found out during the interview. And he knows more shit than a lot of people that have been doing this for 30 fucking years. Plus, he was the right-hand man of my old friend Forrest Fanning. He co-owns Rep.Tek and he plays a pivotal role in the operations over there at Cold-Blooded Café. Here's my one-on-one with Stephen Kush. All right, everybody. Stephen Kush, right here. The good-looking gentleman from fucking Indiana, from Rep.Tek and Cold-Blooded Café. What's up, Stephen?
Oh man, doing all right. How you doing?
Good, man. You guys are killing it out there, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it at the end of the day. Always got a lot going on.
At the end of the day, which keeps you more busy, Rep.Tek or Cold-Blooded Café?
Oh, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, it all blends together. Everything that we do, despite whatever degree of separation it has, it one thing always affects the other. So usually, as far as my actual physical time in the day goes, typically more Rep.Tek side of things. But as far as the mental stress and wear and tear, absolutely Cold-Blooded Café.
Gotcha. And is it all operated out of the same facility?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Gotcha. And what started first? I'm pretty sure Rep.Tek did, right?
Yeah, so I kind of the origin story was that Rep.Tek or Forrest and Desiree's reptile collection needed to be supported by feeders somehow, and instead of buying, they decided that they wanted to breed them, and just kind of kept both grew simultaneously, and then kind of Cold-Blooded Café took off in the last number of years, and I've been here for about 3.5 years now, and merged my personal reptile collection with theirs, and kind of built simultaneously from there as Rep.Tek. together, and now here we are.
Okay, so you're co-owner of Rep.Tek and manager of Cold Blooded Cafe.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. And basically, you've been there about 3 years, you said.
Yeah, a little over 3 years.
Okay, so what actually? How did you get brought into the whole?
So
Into the whole system.
it was kind of almost like a long time coming thing. I met Forrest and Desiree back in 2015, I believe. Um, Originally just by buying a snake off them at a reptile show, and just kind of stayed in touch. Became good friends. Um, Around 2018, Forrest and I kind of started getting closer as friends. Started doing some traveling together, going to zoos, reptile shows, stuff like that. And I was, a freshman in college at the time, and knew going into it wasn't for me. And then being there, knew especially at that point it wasn't for me. It was at that point when we kind of all mutually decided that it could be a good thing for me to, move down from Chicago to Indiana, kind of join forces and see what we can do.
So you actually packed up and moved your fucking life to go work with Forrest. Okay.
Yep.
And I mean, Forrest was really kind of he was a big shot for a long time, but he was like a subtle big shot, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Forrest didn't go out and wasn't like me. You got to check me out, But Forrest knew his shit probably more than anybody that I've met,
Yeah.
in this fucking business. I mean, I met him. I told this story a bunch of times at a green tree symposium in Maryland.
Oh
I
yeah.
think in like 2013. Yeah, and we took a car ride together, and after that, it was just like, this dude is funny as fuck, and he's interesting as fuck, and
Yeah.
he was definitely a lot of fun to hang around with. And then we would do the occasional dinners and lunches over at Daytona and all that other shit. So
Mhm.
I wasn't really close with Forrest, but I do miss him. Because the guy would teach you something without you knowing that you were being taught.
Right.
About it, and that's one of the things that I like about him. So you guys were pretty much daily workers together until he passed away, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There was definitely the whole purpose of me coming on was kind of to take over operations, kind of give him some more free time. And so kind of it started early on as working hand in hand. And then as time went on, he kind of backed off to give me some more reins and, kind of do his own thing outside of Cold Blooded Cafe, and kind of let his business grow from, grow without having to have too much of an active role on like a day-to-day basis.
Right.
So that's kind of the progression of it. I came on here at first mostly for reptiles. I had nothing to do with rodents beforehand, but got here. Good portion of the staff slowly kind of started fading away. Their manager on the Cold Blooded Cafe side quit, and it just kind of was a natural transition to start doing the rodent stuff, and kind of threw me in the deep end a little bit. Kind of here, swim, figure it out, and
Right.
It worked out. So, and I do enjoy the rodent side of it too. It's very scientific, numbers based. It's been fun to watch the operation grow, figure out little tricks and stuff, and it
Well,
does a lot to support what we do on the reptile side too.
and how many people are employed in that one building?
So for the rodent side, we have 7 people right now.
Okay. And what about the reptile side?
As of right now, it's just me and Desiree doing reptiles.
Oh, nice. Okay. And how many? I mean, the last time I saw it, I think it was on one of Cusco's videos. How many? How many species of reptiles are you keeping in there?
Right now, we're just shy of 100.
Just I have 100. And how many animals total?
Just shy of 400.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
It's a lot.
And Cold Blooded Cafe, actually grew faster, right, in the last couple of years. I mean, they've been on a tear.
Yeah, I mean, COVID was huge for us. I mean, despite how terrible it was, it drove, I feel like before COVID, there were really two sectors of rodents. There was online sales, and then there was in-person reptile shows.
Right.
And half of it was gone.
Right.
There were
Yeah.
no reptiles for a period of time, and everybody was forced online. Pet stores were closed for pickup and whatnot. Even facilities were, shutting down live pickup orders, so you had to order, online for shipping.
Right.
And there were shortages as well of rodents. So certain suppliers, they would have sizes out of stock for a while, and we were lucky enough to be able to do as much as we could to not have instances where we were out of stock of, especially like the more popular sizes for more than a day or two at a time. I think just our consistency with it, was our calling card during that time, and why we gained so many customers and have kept many of them. And so, I mean, it's last couple of years have been pretty crazy on that side. We're super grateful for everybody who's uses us as their feeder supplier and continue to. So it's definitely it's been pretty crazy with Cold-Blooded Cafe.
Well, and now, what would you say a percentage was a percentage that you guys grew during COVID? Because even dumb ball python people are getting like these 50% jumps in business during COVID because of
Yeah, it
all
was
the,
about 40.
about 40. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you guys, the property that you're on, do you currently have room to expand if you needed to?
Yeah, we do. We just try to maximize the space that we're in right now. That's the problem with live rodent breeding is the bigger you go, the more room for error there is, and the harder it can fall. So basically, we just we try to use every square inch of what we're working in to its max capacity. Try to maximize every female, get the biggest litters we can, that kind of thing. So,
Well, and I don't know if you could answer this, but what's your monthly output on rodents? It got to be in the thousands, right?
yeah, in the tens of thousands. Yeah.
Tens of thousands. Jesus fucking Christ,
Yeah.
that's gross as fuck. Okay, all right. Fucking nasty ass shit. And you basically with Cold-Blooded Cafe, you guys are show people, right? You definitely you hit all the big ones as far as I could see, right?
Yeah, we like doing the big shows. But there's been another big change with COVID. Is the increase in our retail online. Pre-COVID, it was about 50-50 between retail and then wholesale reptile shows, sales that didn't come through the website.
Right.
And now we're probably at about 98% retail. So most of the time, we don't even have enough stock to do a reptile show, vending with Cold-Blooded Cafe. Sometimes we're going week to week on certain sizes where we stock it and we sell out day of kind of thing. We like to go to the shows just to hang out, and as you know, it's a much more fun time being at a reptile show, not having to sit behind a table the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we definitely like to show up, hang out with all of our friends that we only get to see at the reptile shows every year. So definitely the NARBC shows, Daytona, the Cali shows are the ones that we really try to hit.
And do you guys? I mean, I'm pretty sure you and Desiree aren't driving out to California. All right.
No, we're not. No, we'll drive to Tinley, St. Louis, Schaumburg, and whatnot. But anything else, there's too much going on over here to waste that much time in the car.
Right. Okay. So basically, at the shows that you do vend, you send somebody else, with the actual supply, right?
So at this point, our only shows that we've been vending are Tinley, and then if we have enough stock, the St. Louis and the Schaumburg shows. So we'll just drive everything there. From where we are, each show is 3 to 4 hours away, so it's really not that big of a deal.
Gotcha.
But if we were to do like a California show or something like that, we would definitely ship everything.
Okay. And you guys have been doing well enough to hire SD Design for a new logo.
Yep.
Okay. Tell me about that process, because I know it's not a week-long thing. It is several months probably with
Yeah,
Blake.
it took a while, but being so kind of laser focused on what you're doing, this reptile game, hearing that perspective from the outside, from marketing professionals, was pretty interesting. Seeing their process of how they kind of picked apart our business, the business model, our kind of our perception now, where we want to be, and then seeing the final product and then hearing their explanation behind it. It was just it was a fun process for one. The way that they laid everything out, I gained a new perspective on what we do that I didn't even have before, because I never took that time to really analyze it so deep, and then also explaining it to somebody else. You hear yourself and have kind of revelations mid conversation about what's going on. So yeah, I mean, it was great. I'd recommend it to anybody who's in a position where that would be beneficial to their business. I like what we got, and I think it's going to be an integral part of kind of the next 5-10 years of the company, where we want to go.
Yeah, well, it's clear, like Canova, Cold-Blooded Cafe. I mean, it's just a different level
Yeah.
of logo, basically.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a fucking silhouette of a snake on it, and it doesn't have a silhouette of a rat on it.
Yeah.
like every other fucking company out there.
Right.
At the end of the day, you pay for that, but at the end of the day, it's going to increase everything too. So
yeah, at the end of the day, it's we're taking ourselves as seriously as we'd like everyone else to take us,
Right.
And build a brand that is scalable to the point of being I mean, potentially our long-term goal is to be the number one rodent supplier. We have some pretty big competition in the space, but I think we have what it takes to to be in that position. And that was for us kind of like the jumping point of, we're going to start by, we have this recognizable brand. Let's take it to the next level so that we can allow ourselves that growth to where we where we can be where we want to be at the end of the day when all
Right.
said done with this.
Okay. And talk to me about Rep.Tek. I mean, you guys don't vend at shows for Rep.Tek, right? Like, what's your production like at Rep.Tek? I mean, I never saw a Morph Market ad for something produced at Rep.Tek.
Yeah,
So
and really it's been the kind of thing where almost every day I question myself why we don't have a morph market. We're still definitely in the growth phase. The collection's kind of always moving and changing, finding which projects are the ones that are the most important to us, and then doubling down on those, cutting out excess, because it's a bit different than a typical reptile business. We're not focused on one, maybe two species. We don't, we do have some more common animals, but at the end of the day, the majority of our collection is pretty rare. Species that are mostly relying on imports for fulfilling the market share. And at the end of the day, it's a long game. We wouldn't be able to do it without a machine like Cold-Blooded Cafe behind us. It's at the point where it's self-sustainable, but we're still basically reinvesting whatever we can, wherever we can, into new breeder stock, enclosures, this and that, the other thing.
well, who's a typical Rep.Tek customer?
I mean, I guess there probably is no real typical. It's either somebody who already is into that kind of more obscure, rare species market, but then we also have plenty of people who come to us for the first time they want to branch outside of their ball pythons or their boa constrictors. They see what we're posting with tree monitors, scrub pythons, green tree pythons, stuff like that, and they have an interest, and that's almost who I prefer to work with, especially because you can you get two customers. You get the entitled, short answer, rude, or you get the person who you can tell even through messages how their eyes are wide open. They're super curious about expanding their horizons within reptiles, and they follow what we do and are whether they're taking inspiration or not, at the end of the day, they're coming to us for that advice. Seeing a collection of a more eclectic group of species,
Right.
and then guiding that person in the right direction, debunking myths about some of the animals we keep, and then also vetting people out if they're capable to handle some of these things, especially on for things like monitors, bigger snakes. We won't sell those to just anybody.
Right. Is there licensing requirements in Indiana?
The only thing that we're required to do, so a couple of things. For crocodilians, they need to be permitted once they reach 5 feet in length. None of our crocodilians are that size yet. And then venomous reptiles need to be permitted as well. Okay. And we have our permits for those.
And what's your percentage of hots that you guys keep?
At this point, numbers wise, it's about a fifth to a quarter of the collection.
Really, that much?
Yeah.
So potentially, you could get killed every day you fucking walk into work.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess you could say that. It's
all right.
Not entirely inaccurate, but I guess if you work at a warehouse, you could probably say the same thing. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I always thought your guys' customers would be the reptariums, the zoos.
And we get that too. That's what's nice about working with a lot of different species of reptiles. It definitely has its downsides for sure, but its upside is that we get connected with a lot of different kinds of people throughout this industry because we kind of have our feet in a bunch of different camps as far as what we're working with.
Right.
Anything from an entry level customer to somebody like Brian Barczyk who wants a display animal for the zoo.
Well, you're not doing the shows with Rep.Tek, right? You're not jamming your animals into containers and bringing them to Tinley.
I mean, if we do vend a show with for Cold-Blooded Café, we'll set up something small. We'll bring anything we have available, or potentially an animal or two just for a cool display. But I mean, the majority of the sales are really through word of mouth, or just to people that are contacting us, just hoping that we have something available. Other than that, we really just will advertise through like Facebook and Instagram, and so far it's been all that it's really taken. We don't do waiting lists or anything like that, but we definitely have people that I feel like are watching for the day when that thing that they want becomes available. And,
right.
We're very lucky to have people that are paying attention like that. It makes what we do pretty, I mean, that part of it easy at the end of the day, or as easy as it can be, because that's definitely one of the big stresses is making the sales, keeping the cash flow going, making sure everything's staying afloat.
Right.
We have a good customer base I'm super grateful for.
Please excuse this brief interruption for a word from one of our sponsors.
All right, well, flipping some shit around on you here. We're doing a live focus cube read. All right, listen. Focus Cubed Habitats literally builds the best display cages on the fucking planet. But a lot of people's perception of them is that they just do arboreal cages. Nah, They make the best terrestrial cages on the fucking planet as well. And the number of options that they have to add to your shit is unbelievable. Stephen and Ashley are constantly amazing me with the units that they build. And every time I see a story or a picture or a video on Instagram of their new shit, it blows my fucking mind, man. Head on over right now to focuscubedhabitats.com and witness the display cage revolution. You could customize a fucking cage with things that literally nobody else in the industry offers. These guys are the real fucking deal, man. Get your collection in focus with Focus Cubed Habitats right now. Trust me, you'll be glad you did. FocusCubedHabitats.com.
Are you the social media guy, or is somebody else the social media guy there?
I mean, it's just me and Desiree kind of putting up stuff on our personal pages, or she'll handle the business pages like the Rep.Tek and the Cold-Blooded Café business page. That's her doing that type of stuff. So we kind of, we do what we can when we can. Honestly, I feel like we've been lacking majorly on our social media game as of lately. So definitely something we need to step up. Something like a YouTube channel has been in the talks forever, and just one thing or another comes up where we don't end up doing it. And, you know, at the end of the day, we have a lot going on, and we're trying to balance a lot.
Yeah, well, no, I get it. And at the end of the day, the successful people are kind of like really struggling to keep up with all the social media, because if you're,
It's a lot.
if you're a good keeper, you don't really give a shit about taking a reel for Instagram or doing shit like that, because you don't have time during the day. But and I know this is going to be maybe an off-putting question, maybe not, but what do you absolutely fucking just hate about this industry and some of the people that do it? Like, I'm sure you have to have thought about it. I mean, you may not dwell on it, but this is a show that dwells on the negativity, and fucking shit talk is our wheelhouse.
It's beautiful.
So
I love it. I mean, we could probably go on for a while. I think I think everybody is more. I mean, all right. Generally speaking, I think too many people within reptiles would rather feel right than accept they're wrong and learn and grow.
right.
And I think the infighting within the community is childish. I think it's, at the end of the day, it's pathetic, and I struggle to realize how these people have so much time to
Right.
go bicker back and forth on Facebook
Mm.
instead of doing anything productive with their time. I think that there's the biggest reason for misinformation within this industry is people who have no idea what they're talking about, talking with other people that have no idea what they're talking about their wrong ideas, and agreeing, and then therefore they declare themselves right because they both agree on their false ideas.
Yeah.
And I think everybody we overcomplicate most of the things that we do from like a reptile husbandry breeding standpoint. But then on the flip side of it, I think that many people are closed off to change and would rather feel right than hear another opinion, try something new, and then be able to, at the end of the day, advance their husbandry and better how they can care for their animals. And then people would rather start a fight than hear someone out.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. A friend of mine, Jessica Hare, coined this toxic positivity phrase that I really was a big fan of that.
Oh,
As
that's
soon as I
fucking
heard it,
awesome.
I was just like,
I love it.
because it's so perfect, right? I mean, I mean, you have these fucking cunts that are running around who have kept a ball python alive for 2 weeks, starting a YouTube channel, telling other people how to keep a ball python alive, and
It's really
it's
something.
unfucking believable.
Yeah.
I think the amount of that, and the amount of how long have you been doing this?
12 going on 13 years.
Okay, so you remember the days where fucking, like a dude would fucking stab you in the shoulder to make $20 extra on a ball python or a scrub python, just to get that sale.
Yeah.
And now everybody's like, oh, Johnny is fantastic. He's amazing. He's great, and there's nothing wrong with his collection. And Billy does everything right, and Jill does this and that. And I'm like, how long do you think this is going to last until one of these dudes fuck each other? Okay. Because if anything about fucking people under 30, I don't know how old you are, so fucking
I'm well under 30.
they will absolutely love you to death until the second you disagree with them, and then they're like, fuck you, you got to get out of my group, we don't want you here anymore. So
Yeah.
that's one of the major problems, I think, is that you got these assholes who are doing this for under a year telling other people that they're doing it right, and telling people that have been doing it for 20 years that they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook is honestly just the fucking worst. I mean,
Yeah.
negativity is our wheelhouse, so I deal with Facebook, but
Yeah.
fucking I notice on Instagram there's a lot more. But like MJ is a big Facebook fucking sucks, guy. And you at the end of the day, you can't even really blame them because there's so much. I mean, some of these ball python groups have 20,000 people in them,
Yeah.
and they're 20,000 fucking morons. I mean, they threw Justin out of one of them, which is unbelievable.
Seems a little backwards, but okay.
Yeah, no, it happened a couple of years back where Justin was like, "Yeah, I got thrown out of this ball python group," and I just thought it was funny as fuck. But is there anything that you think we could do to combat that, or do you think it's just the culture of people now
I
that
mean,
get
I think
defensive?
it's a societal thing, and obviously it manifests itself in reptiles. After just being involved with this for so long, growing up in the hobby, doing this more than half my life, I've kind of come to the conclusion that the only thing I can really do is do what I think is putting the best foot forward for the hobby personally, and just doing things the way that I would want somebody to have shown me when I was 12 years old, and just try to be what I want to see the hobby turn into. If people want to follow along and whatnot, great. And when I see bullshit on however many levels of bullshit, I've gotten to the point of like, I'm just gonna try to block it out, not let it bother me. It's kind of a pessimistic viewpoint, I guess, but at the end of the day, what can you really do? For things like the age-old conversation of venomous free handling. I don't think there's a single person who can make an argument why that's a good thing, but yet it happens all the time. And as much as these idiots are posting about it, people are having these 200, 300 comment long Facebook feeds talking about that person free handling. It's like, okay, cool. That you really accomplished something there in the 10th feed this month where you're all agreeing with each other that people shouldn't free handle. Yeah, no shit, you shouldn't free handle a venomous thing. We all agree on this post. Do something better with your time. And it's that whole thing of any publicity is good publicity. Talking about these people just brings more eyes to them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt. That's the problem.
And that's why we keep venomous, and I'll show it on our social media, and I do it the way I think is the best way to do it in the private setting. And I'm not going to tell you why I think that. I'm just going to show you that. And hopefully it'll influence somebody the same way the dude with the monocle cobra on his head did, or at least will show an alternate direction to go.
Right.
Because unfortunately these days, a lot of the people who are putting themselves out there are the cancers of the hobby.
Yeah.
But a new person, they're not going to know any different.
Right. But don't you think that at the end of the day, I keep saying at the end of the day today for some reason, they're eventually going to weed themselves out by not being fast enough, right? I mean, it's just a matter of time before, some idiot gets, bit. But the problem with one idiot getting bit who has a 4 million person social media following is that everybody's going to come down on the hobby in general, and I think people know that.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why the handlers, don't do it. But like, handle your snake all you want, just don't put it on YouTube.
Right, exactly. And but they're and it's at the end of the day shooting yourself in the foot. Like, are your views today are more important than your views in 10 years? Like, when you've killed your own source of income.
Yeah.
If anybody who will be at the focus of that argument hasn't figured that out yet, they're not going to figure it out.
Yeah, of
So
course.
stop wasting your damn breath and do something that's going to take attention potentially away from them, or divert it somehow to where that's not the only thing that people can see.
Right.
Is the dumb bullshit. So.
Well, some people's channels are just full of dumb bullshit. Like, what do you think of the live feeding videos?
Same thing. Like,
same thing, right?
It's childish.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what an 8-year-old who loves Monster Energy wants to watch a live feeding video.
Yeah.
Like, it's childish.
Well, not only that, what you know, the people that do it are like, oh, I get the views, but you're not getting reptile people to view those. You're not getting the viewers that you want, right? At the end of the day, it's all fucking, it's all psychopaths.
Yeah, you know, and then we wonder why the hobby can have a negative fucking image of we're weirdos in our basement fucking poking snakes and stuff. It's because there's weirdos in their basement poking snakes and doing live feeding videos and shit. You know,
Yep.
we don't do ourselves any favors collectively some of the time. So I don't know. To a degree, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? You just try to be what you want to see in the hobby and fucking hope more people follow suit.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. What do you think some of the best things about the hobby is? Or
Oh, I mean, you could go on forever. You know, like
really forever? I mean, that's
Yeah, I think so. You know, not to take away, not to say that there aren't, you know, a bunch of negatives, but as there would, you know, I mean, anything needs to change and evolve. But like, you know, for me growing up, I didn't have a friend who was into reptiles my age.
Mhm.
You know, nobody in school kept snakes through any level or even had an interest. And then, you know, to the point where nobody would have even slightly considered doing it as a living. Like this, you know, I knew I was going to do this when I was 9 years old. Like there just wasn't anybody remotely like that. So becoming more involved in the hobby, going to shows and stuff, you find people that are like you.
Right.
And, you know, as much as the hobby's growing, there aren't too many people out there who do what we do. You know, camaraderie is great. I've made friendships that then move outside of reptiles where, you know, I might be hanging out with some reptile friends and reptiles are the last thing we talk about.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've been able to interact with animals that when I was getting into it, I could have only ever dreamed of seeing in person. I'm able to make a comfortable living doing what I love every day. And, you know, I mean, I think there's a lot to be really grateful about with what we do. And a lot of the times that's overshadowed by all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it makes sense because the bullshit's with jeopardizing all this. So that's going to be the thing that's on the forefront of the mind. And it's going to be what creates arguments and, you know, drama and whatnot. So, you know, not that it's a good thing that you know, some of it's emphasized, but it makes sense. It makes sense why we have the conversations we do. And it's like, it's not something you can avoid. You can't brush it under the rug either.
Right.
But you, in a perfect world, like to not have to think about it in the first place, you know?
Well, in a perfect world, people wouldn't be actively making USARK's job harder by doing stupid shit. You know, that would be the number one thing, I think, where, you know, like you guys are making it so difficult where the one, you know, group that we have, this is going to make it impossible for them to think, you know, if Tyler Nolan gets bit in the fucking neck from fucking free handling a rattlesnake, right? It's going to be pretty hard to say people should be able to keep rattlesnakes, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. To the uneducated lawmaker, 1 + 1 = 2 there.
Right. Exactly. Now, I learned some disappointing shit about you today.
Oh, what's that?
And that's that you breed ball pythons, right? And, well, why?
My dark secret that I like to keep locked
Why
up.
you have so much other cool shit? What are you doing?
I mean, it's what I started with, you know. I started off, as many people do, with ball pythons, and I don't, you know, there aren't many, but I like to do it. When we have new employees here that we're training to do reptile stuff, it's a great place to start them. Is learning ball pythons.
That I could see, yeah. That I could see.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger reasons. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just because I like them. I like the few more projects that we're working on, and just it's mindless, calm snake cleaning. A lot of the animals we have, you know, you got to pay attention,
right?
Or something might go down. You know, I mean, whether you're working with large monitors, venomous snakes, crocodilians, 12-foot scrub pythons. That's not passive work, but
Right.
cleaning baby ball pythons is very passive, mindless work, and that can be a nice break in the action. So there's a few reasons, and at the end of the day, it's just because I like to do it. I don't want to have 500 ball pythons, but if I can have 20, 30 adult breeders and make some cool morph combos that I've wanted to see since I was a teenager, then why not?
Well, what morph projects does Stephen Kush go after?
So to me, everything is surrounded around GHI and hypo, and then
Wow.
mixing that
Hypo, white trash gene. Really?
Wow. Oh,
Hypo 12 years ago was the $200 recessive that the poor people could get into and say they were in the recessor project. Okay. Not cool, man. I always say people who want a snake that looks like it's always been in shed probably married a woman who always looked like she was on her period. Right? So it's just the fucking
I mean,
shittiest gene ever. GHI is good though. Okay, so it revolves around GHI and hypo.
and then basically everything working with the goal of double recessive. At the end of the day, we got, other than that, Xanthic, clown, pied, all that in the mix. So, just messing around, seeing what we can do, making some cool snakes in the process.
Right. And is Desiree as into the side projects like that as you are, or does Desiree be like, I'm only focusing on good stuff?
He has cool side projects, I'll give her that much. But it is kind of nice about having that partnership, is that we don't have the same exact interests. So if I was doing this just on my own, there's a lot of stuff here that we wouldn't have because it just wouldn't be that high of a priority to me. But I like it this way because I get to be around, all these monitors and some of the stuff that she's into, like Sabu pythons and stuff like that.
Right.
And, not have it be all me at the end of the day, because I probably would burn out on some of them and move the projects away. So at this point, she does most of what we do with the lizards. And then with a lot of the snakes, I kind of focus on them. She obviously helps out with some of that stuff too. So, we have the few main focuses of the collection, and then just some little fun side projects that kind of one of us wanted to do, the other one wanted to do, and kind of keeps it from getting boring at the end of the day.
Right. Well, where is Rep.Tek going to be in 5 years?
That's a very good question. Hopefully breeding a lot of what we have now. Forrest never really cared to breed anything.
Right, I remember.
He wanted the collection to have it and to show it off and to teach people and whatnot. But breeding anything was never really much of a focus of his. And I've always wanted to breed probably almost every reptile I've had, except for animals that I feel like shouldn't really be available to just anybody. And then that's kind of on the side projects. Anything like that, we try to keep to a minimum, because we don't want to have 50 animals that I never want to breed this because I don't want to have to sell 20 rock pythons.
Right.
I don't think that there's 20 people that can take care of a rock python.
Right.
Or water monitors or something like that. Who in their right mind, how many people can truly keep a 7-foot adult water monitor properly and do it with safety to themselves? Very, very few people. So, it's kind of considering what we want to do at the end of the day, and then the markets that we'd be serving, finding what's responsible, and what do we want to do, kind of bridging that gap. But then, everything we're doing now, for the most part, is geared towards breeding that species eventually, and kind of being a cornerstone in that market. So as our younger breeding stock's growing up, just kind of getting more animals in rotation, getting more clutches on the ground, more litters, and just growing.
Is there any travel plans in the future? I know Forrest used to Used to travel quite a bit.
He was all over the place. I mean, yeah, for sure. I struggle to separate myself from here for sure. I get like separation anxiety and worries about what's going on, even if there's nothing at all that I need to be present for. But that's just kind of who I am. But a few months ago, I took a trip out to like the El Paso, Texas area with some buddies and went herping up in the mountains for banded rock rattlesnakes for a week. That was incredible. I'd like to, do the same kind of trip in Mexico. The dream herping trip for me is to go to Papua New Guinea and find scrub pythons in the wild, do some real like kind of field research on them, and try to bring that knowledge back to what I'm doing in captivity.
Right.
So, and then maybe eventually a vacation that doesn't revolve around reptiles, but
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, what is
down the line?
What does Stephen Kush like to do when he's not doing reptile shit?
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you.
All reptile, all the time.
Yeah, between reptiles and working out at the end of the day. It's all I fucking do. And it's a problem.
You are 100% the opposite of me. Working out. Jesus Christ. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy talk, Stephen.
Masochistic behavior.
All right. So, how can people get in touch with you, man? It's like, I know you're on Instagram. Do you even have a Facebook fucking page?
I do. Yeah. Oh. I'm not super active on it, but I do have Facebook as well. So yeah, at this point, Instagram and Facebook is where I'm at.
And it's Rep.Tek? Or
yeah.
Is it Blooded Café, or is it Stephen Kush?
So it's, really all the above. All the above on all the platforms, personal, and then also both businesses have presences on Facebook and Instagram.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
We do not.
Okay. Do you have a TikTok?
Fuck no. No. God, we fucked up. You won't catch me dead with a TikTok.
I'm just saying, if Desiree comes to you tomorrow and is like, Steven, I really think we need a TikTok.
Oh, she has a TikTok. I have nothing to do with her TikTok. Fuck that. Hell no. That's my line in the sand. No TikTok.
Jesus Christ. Well, how old are you?
I'm 21.
You're a fucking little cocksucker. You're 21, and you got all this fucking experience. You're such a dick. I don't like you now. All right? Oh, 21. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
I thought you were maybe 29, maybe 30. You got a lot of fucking experience for a 21-year-old dude, man.
I found this really early in life, and it clicked. I was very lucky to meet some people who were pretty significant in this field from a young age. I worked at the Wildlife Discovery Center, which is a small like nature center / zoo outside of Chicago that has a pretty incredible collection from like 13 to 18. I snuck my way in there because I was a tall 13-year-old. They didn't realize how young I was. And then it's been crazy, kind of crazy coincidence after crazy coincidence of how I've kind of come up in this game. I met Phil Goss when I was 12 years old, known him for a long time, stuff like that. Just, showing up at Tinley. I grew up 45 minutes from the Tinley show. Right. So that was Christmas for me twice a year growing up, and been very one-track minded in my life. It's been this or nothing.
Man, you are a fucking stupid, mature 21-year-old. It's like fucking. This is fucking crazy.
Oh shit!
All right, well, let's kind of end this here with. Tell me your favorite forest story.
Oh man, my favorite story is probably, to think of one, probably something I couldn't say on the show. Let me think of a. Oh man, there's so many. At the best times we were really great friends. Kind of similar sense of humor, similar interests in what we're doing, and similar drive. And I learned a lot from him. I'd like to think he took something away from spending time with me too. Oh man, I'm trying to. I feel like I should really have something, but man, almost anything that's coming to my mind, I'm like, I can't say that.
Yeah.
That's a little too rated R for a podcast.
Oh, please,
Little
we
too possibly offensive. I'm not trying to call him out like that.
no, it believe me, I knew Forrest, so I fucking
I mean, he had a great sense of humor, and it bit sometimes. Like, oof, all right,
right.
didn't need to hear that. But I
Yeah,
mean,
he told me some things that almost made me uncomfortable, but was so funny
dude,
that I was just, I was just like,
I mean, the best memories were always traveling.
right.
Um, one of the probably most formative experiences of my life is the trip we had in Florida, where we were hanging out the whole time with Brian and Noah Barczyk, Miguel Garcia, Brian Cusco was there, hanging out with Savannah from Gatorland, and really just going to the best facilities in the state of Florida for a week straight.
Yeah.
Just in the car for hours, talking about the business, talking about social media and YouTube, talking about the past of where this all came from, where it's going, and joking around. And he was definitely an interesting traveling companion. Good but reckless as fuck driving. Didn't want that man behind the wheel.
Oh yeah. I was
you scared
driving
for
when
your
we were
life.
out. Yeah, fuck
Every
that. I'm
fucking
not.
time
Yeah.
you were like, "This is the worst thing I've ever done." Why is he doing 100 in the left lane with both hands on his phone, texting, not looking at the road, driving with his knee? Um, you know, I mean, one that was just super funny. We were at the San Diego Zoo. We met up with a friend of ours who worked there, and went behind the scenes and saw everything. It was incredible, and we had the pass to spend the day there. And he went from like, "Fuck this, I'm tired, let's go to the hotel," to super pumped to do it, to halfway into the zoo and then being like, "Fuck, I want to leave again." So we fucking I don't know if you're familiar with the San Diego Zoo, but there's like a big gondola that goes across the whole park, and we're on it, and he just like every car that passes us, the people on it, he just starts just screaming like the most obnoxious shit at them, and then oh my god, I have some fucking videos that I'll cherish forever from that experience. Just, I mean, things that like you just don't say that to people. He just didn't give a fuck. He just didn't fucking care, and I just was cracking up the whole time. Like, we're just in fucking San Diego, like fucking telling people to go fuck themselves and shit like that.
That's fun. We were in Maryland with him, and he was telling people to go fuck themselves. So he as pretty much traveled the country telling people to go fuck themselves.
We were driving to Florida one time, and fucking 13, 14-hour drive, only so much you can do. And in Georgia is like the only part of the drive that you really got to watch how fast you're going, because those cops in Georgia are fucking brutal. Right. So I was driving, and it was late at night. This guy cuts me off kind of subtly. It's like, whatever. But we decided, all right, fuck it, like it's fucking on. And we fucking sat in this dude's blind spot for 45 minutes. They kept fucking speeding up, slowing down, changing lanes. It was just like New Jersey license plate. This person's not from there. We were just fucking trailing these guys, and I've almost never laughed so hard in my whole life. Like, we went from fucking tired and pissed off being in the car to like having the time of our life, just messing with these people, just shit like that. It was just always a fun time.
Yeah, no, he was definitely that type of dude, man. Steven, thank you for taking the time, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely you're fucking 21. God damn it, man. It freaks me the fuck out that you're 21 and know this much shit about the animals and the industry. So
I'm committed to this. This is all I got. So I'm in this far. Might as well make the most of it.
Well, dude, you're fucking killing it, man. So
appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much for coming on. Hopefully we're going to get some people to annoy the fuck out of you on Instagram and Facebook.
Please do.
And, we'll take it from there. But, I hope to meet you at the show one day, brother. And again, thank you, man.
Yeah, man. That was a pleasure, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah, man. All right. You too.
at Snakes and the Fat Man, we're huge supporters of diversity. We're proving that point here by having our first ever boa breeder as a sponsor on the show. Boa Affliction has been around since 2010, and when they saw the VPI T-positive gene, they immediately shifted their focus and decided to make not just visually stunning albino boas, but they quickly realized that the T-positive snows and sun glows really stood apart from the T-negative albinos that were available at the time. This original VPI gene has maintained its place in the market for the last 10 years and shows no sign of slowing down. Here's the thing. When you invest into your 401k, a 401k for all you ball python people is a fund that you invest in for your retirement. But when you invest in a 401k, you just don't invest in Walmart. You invest in Amazon, Verizon, Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. That's all we're trying to say here. 100% of your collection doesn't have to be ball pythons. Throw a few boas in there and be part of a different type of cool crowd. And when you do that, invest with Kenny over at Boa Affliction. Great, no bullshit guy with an awesome website. And how in the fuck am I gonna say no to a guy who uses this chick in his promo picture? Can't do it. Can't do it. I tried everything. Go check out Kenny today at boaffliction.com. Sticking with my supporting of diversity, I actually hired a millennial to handle all of my social media, but I had to fire him because he didn't show up for work. So I'm just going to leave this picture up here for a little while longer.
That kid is pretty fucking awesome, huh? Listen, the Patreon family is growing every fucking month. So head on over to patreon.com/snakesandthefatman and become a certified member of the Reptile Cool Guy Club. You could join all these people right over here that know more about the Fat Man than anybody really should or anybody really wants. People like Charlie and Gina Points of Points Pythons, Randy Yoa of Colossal Constrictors, and Billy over at Mutation Creation. That's right, be like Big Dog Billy over there and show some support for the fucking Fat Man. All Fat Man, all the time. Patreon.com/snakesandthefatman. Get access to exclusive videos, early entrance to the bi-weekly Zoom call, discounts from our guests on the show, and be part of the discussions that will guide new Fat Man projects. Go follow all of these guys because they make this dumb made-up job I have possible. Guys, you know the rest of the drill. We drop new podcasts on the 1st and the 15th of every month. We are rocking out the fucking open Zoom call for reptile keepers. And the next one is on August 28th. That's a Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks again to everybody who supports the show. And if you're heading out to Daytona next week, fucking party hard, but fucking be safe and come back home alive. Love you guys, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Everyone talks their own shit about what kind of racks you should buy. Metal racks are great, but everyone doesn't want a goddamn 7-foot high, 6-foot wide, 2,000-pound metal rack in their fucking house. That's a 2-refrigerator footprint, man. 2 fucking refrigerators. Sea Serpents makes insane quality racks that could fit anywhere. They're stackable PVC racks that are living room friendly, and they're shipped fully assembled with heat tape already installed. Just plug it into a thermostat and you're ready to go. When we had the shop, we had over 20 Sea Serpent racks there before they ever became a sponsor of Snakes and the Fat Man. I don't breed much anymore these days, but I still have a few racks here in my house, and you could be goddamn sure that they're Sea Serpents. Oh, and they also make hotbox incubators, probably the best reptile incubators made in America. At the height of our breeding business, we had 4 4-foot hotbox incubators, and again, I still have a small hotbox incubator here in case anything I keep actually does breed. Go to SeaSerpents.com and check out their incredible selection of PVC racks and tell Chris Nettles that the Fat Man sent you.